All right. Check, check, test 1, 2. All right. All right, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the monthly meeting of the City of Des Moines Zoning Board of Adjustment. This board has the power under Iowa law and the zoning ordinance of the City of Des Moines to hear and make decisions on requests for variances and exceptions from the regulations in the zoning ordinance, to review conditional use requests, and to consider any appeals from any decision of city staff in the administration of the zoning ordinance. The members of this board are citizens of the City of Des Moines. They've been appointed to the board by the City Council. The board members are volunteers, and they receive no compensation for their public service. And we've got a 7-member board. We're just missing one person today. We usually do pretty good about that. But I'll go ahead and introduce our board members. On the audience's right is Tom DeCio. Next to him is Dave Gare. Next to him is Rhonda Sadia. I'm Mel Pins, the board chair. And then on my right, Marlis Jones. And next to her is Mr. Kuku Sa. Kuku has served with us for, I think, exactly a year. He was appointed, I believe, last July. And fortunately, he's not moving from Des Moines, but he's got some new irons in the fire. So this is all a big commitment to come and serve and do this, which all of us enjoy, and I know he does. But he's going to be moving on to some new adventures. So we want to wish him well for his commitment that he's given to this board, and I know in the future he's going to be committed to Des Moines. So thank you, Kuku. You betcha. So we're missing one member today, but I'll go ahead and introduce city staff that will be assisting us as well. Gary Guidelock to my left is the legal counsel for the Zoning Board of Adjustment. Down here to the audience's left on the sidebar is Frank Dunn-Young, Senior City Planner. We have Chris Heilskov, Zoning Enforcement Officer, and Michelle Wall down front here with all the technology as our meeting moderator. I'll go over our procedures here. This might be the first time you're in front of us. You might hope it's your only time you're in front of us, but we do try to make this as easy as possible. But I do have to give a brief legal background here. First and foremost, the Zoning Board of Adjustment is a quasi-judicial board. This hearing will be conducted within the procedures and format as authorized by Iowa law and this city's ordinances. The meeting is open to the public. It is being recorded by both audio and video for a legal record of these proceedings. The board members have each received a copy of the agenda and the staff recommendations. The board is required to base its decision on each item upon the criteria established by law for the type of relief sought by the applicant. The law applicable to each case has been identified in the written staff report. The law applicable to each case has been identified, and if the facts as determined by the board demonstrates that the criteria established by law for granting the relief has been satisfied, then the board must grant the relief. Otherwise, the board must deny the requested relief. Each item will be announced in the order that it appears on the agenda. Items listed on the consent portion of the agenda, which is our first portion of the agenda, are not planned to be individually discussed. Rather, they will be considered for approval in accordance with the recommendations in the staff report, unless the appellant does not agree to the conditions that have been recommended by staff, or if there's an individual of this audience or a member of this board that requests that the item be removed from the consent agenda so that a full discussion on the matter can occur before a decision is made. So I'll come back to that in just a moment, because today I believe all three of our items are on consent. So I'm going to skip ahead here a little bit. I would normally explain our regular part of the open case hearing if we have to hear an item and who goes first and order of appearance and all that. But I think I'll skip that. I'll give that if we need to. But if we would approve your appeal today, we'd ask that you wait until at least about a week from today if you need to contact the city's Permit and Development Center to obtain any necessary building permits or sign permits that might be related to your appeal. This will allow the decision of this board to be documented in the form of a decision and order. That decision and order document will be given to you and city staff for the record. Any appeal that is approved by the board must be implemented, constructed, or otherwise utilized within 2 years of the date of this board's decision, or such approval shall expire. And the decisions of this board can only be appealed in the Iowa District Court. If you believe you've been harmed by an error made by this board, your only remedy is to seek relief through the court within 30 days of the filing of the board's decision and order. If you believe the zoning regulations applied by the board are wrong, you may petition the city council to change those for future considerations. And all written material used today or presented is part of the permanent record. If there's anything you want to share today that you haven't already given copies to staff, you'll need to give us copies, and you can appropriately ask staff as well if you'd like a copy. I think I'll just skip our housekeeping. We've got a small house here today. I think we can manage you all. So let's go ahead and take a look here at our agenda. We've got 3 items on today's agenda. They're all on this consent portion, meaning that staff has reviewed the request. Staff has made a recommendation to approve the request subject to conditions that staff has presented, which is on the agenda. And unless there's somebody in the audience that would want us to look at hearing the case, if they do not agree with the proposal or the conditions presented, I'd ask that they show their hand. And I'll just do a poll here. Item 1 near 1111 East Army Post Road, related to a conditional use for a seasonal market. I believe that's going to be related to Southridge. Anybody here that would be opposed to us granting that? Just raise your hand. Seeing none. Item 2, related to Casey's Marketing Company at 4151 Merle Hay Road, related to requests for zoning exceptions on some signage, primarily on the canopy. Anybody here opposed to item 2? Item 3 is also a zoning exception request related to 1111 East Army Post Road, related to some wall-mounted signs. Anybody here that be opposed to that? All right, seeing none. Board members, we've got 3 items here on consent. Staff's recommending approval, subject to the conditions presented. Would anybody have any reason to hear these? If there is, so say. If not, would there be a motion to approve consent? Moved by Rhonda, second by Marlis. All those in favor, raise your right hand, say aye. All right, motion carries 6-0. Thank you for coming down. In about a week, you'll get a copy of that D&O because you're all going to need some sign permits, it looks like. So just hang tight on that, and we'll get you some copies, and you can keep moving. So thanks for coming down. Thank you. You bet. Do we have any other business besides minutes from last meeting? Okay, so those that were here last month, if you've looked at the minutes, are there any changes? If none, would there be a motion to approve? Cuckoo, why don't you second that? Motion by Marla, second by Cuckoo. All in favor? Aye, including Dave. Oh, Dave was not here last month. Yeah, he's a good guy. Okay, so 5-0 minus Dave. Minutes passed. So again, Cuckoo, want to thank you. It's been a pleasure to have you here. Always good thoughts and good attitude. We will miss you, but I hope we get to see you soon. Thanks again.
The answer is no. She didn't ask for permission to leave, so we don't want you to leave. There's no such thing.
Rhonda's making a motion to deny your resignation. That's right. Well, thanks again, Cuckoo. You bet. We usually, I think everybody's left here on good terms for many, many years. So yeah, appreciate your service. Thank you. You betcha.
You'll still get invited to our house, okay?
Yes, and I wish we could have had more homework for him on this last meeting, but hey, sometimes short and sweet and simple, especially on a hot day. All right, well, thanks again, sir. This hearing is adjourned.